Hello, Zelda Universe. Welcome back to another exciting new interview. I am Trainer Trevino. I am here with a super special guest, their first time here on the channel. Hello, can you introduce yourself to us?
Hi. Hello, everyone. My name's Amelia Gotham.
And who do you play in Breath of the Wild and Age of Calamity?
I play Princess Mipha.
The Zora Champion.
Yeah.
Honestly, I love Mipha so much. So it's really great to have you here. So I'm excited to ask you so many questions from so many loving Zelda fans. They're dying to know a lot of things about you and your role. So are you ready to get started?
Yes, I will answer to the best of my ability.
Awesome. Let's do this. All right. And I will say we have a lot to get through, so let's just dive into it.
Okay.
All right. So I guess the first question I have is it's from Yu. They're asking, how did you feel on reprising your role as Mipha in Age of Calamity?
How did I feel? Amazing. Of course, I was so happy to be able to bring back such an iconic character who touched my heart so deeply and was very close to me. So, yeah, I was ecstatic to be able to come back and play that role.
Awesome. I guess as a follow-up from me on my end, like what was the best part of being able to replay this role in a new Zelda game, no less?
My favorite part of it was that she got much more lines. So I think
Yes.
you got to delve even further into who she was.
Mhm.
Whereas in the first game, it was all memories, and this
Mhm.
was, how this all came about and how her demise occurred. So it was wonderful to
Mhm.
be able to see her in action and not just
Absolutely.
memories of her. Yeah.
Yeah. Like you see a lot more of like her fighting, which is super cool. She kicks
Yeah.
butt. She kicks butt. All right. Okay, here's one from Star and Sky 18. They're asking, how would you compare the experiences of having voiced Mipha in Breath of the Wild, its DLC, and now Age of Calamity?
As in the difference between how the character changed over time,
And how
or
I would like to say like how it was getting to go through the voiceover process.
well, I would say first of all, there were two different directors, a
Mm-hmm.
different director for each game, so they approached it in different ways.
Mm-hmm.
Um, as I said before, uh, I was able to delve a lot deeper into the character the
Mm-hmm.
second time around, whereas the first one, I was a little more nervous, I think.
Yeah.
There was a lot of pressure to make sure to on this character, and I think the second time around I was able to just have more flexibility in with her and just feel more comfortable
Mm-hmm.
as far as what I was acting,
Right.
if that.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I get what you mean. That's great. Like you had more room to work with in Age of Calamity, like a lot of fighting, a lot of activity to do. Like a lot of
Yeah, and just more comfortability in the
mhm.
character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because between Breath of the Wild and Age of Calamity, like there was like a long gap in between, so each had like a lot more like experience after
Mhm.
that, which is great.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. Let's see. Next question. Okay, how about this one? This is from Carson. They're asking, did you have any idea on how Mipha would be prior to recording? If not, did you look into any other Zora characters like Princess Ruto for reference?
I did not. My acting method is not about a lot of research. I
Okay.
know that goes against a lot of method actors about creating this backstory and
Yeah.
whatnot. But for me, she existed within the frame of the game.
Okay.
So when auditioning for this, you're given basically a paragraph about
Mhm.
this is what the character is and what you need, and then you have to take that and kind of be like, interpret that however you would as an actor, and then present it. And
Yeah,
what I presented obviously got me the role. So, yeah.
absolutely.
That
I
makes
mean,
sense.
yeah, and it's tough too because like with auditioning, like you never know what the character is until you actually get the role. So definitely
Right.
something sparked in whoever cast you for the role, which Jamie obviously, but yeah, it's awesome. Big congrats too.
Thank you.
All right, let's see. Next question. Let's see. Okay, here's a big one. It's from Tiny Abs. How does it feel to voice act in a popular video game? In reference being Zelda. So how does it feel to be a part of the Zelda franchise?
I feel honored. I was very, very honored once we all found out that it was Zelda. That was exciting for all of us, you know.
Of course.
I've done actually quite a lot of different video games, but this is iconic. This is like I believe the longest running.
35 years. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
so you know, there's this excitement part of you that's like, wow, I feel so honored, and then there's the nervous part of you that's like, wow, there's pressure. I got to make sure I do this right because there's a lot of people that are going to expect have a certain expectations.
yeah.
You know,
It's especially tough with Breath of the Wild because there's brand new characters like being introduced for the first time. So this is new for everybody. So it's not really sure how you like feel at the start of it. But once you know these characters as time goes on, you're like, oh my god, I love these characters so much. That's kind of like why Age of Calamity was a big deal because we get to be with these characters again, which is awesome. I like
it
it.
was awesome.
It is. All right, let's see. Let's see who's next. I'm sure we all know the answer, but I want to hear from you. More more Bamba is asking, was voice acting Mipha fun? And how long did it take to fully voice act and complete everything you need to say? A year, a few months, if you're allowed to say.
Breath of the Wild was longer. That was about 2 months
Mm-hmm.
of various recording times.
Mm-hmm.
For Age of Calamity, that was 3 days of recording.
Oh wow, really?
Mhm.
Much faster than Breath of the Wild. And the first question to their question was voice acting me for fun, which I hope so.
Oh yeah, well yeah, of course. Like I said, I think that I think Age of Calamity for me honestly was more fun, but that's
Sure.
just because I got to go further with Mipha,
Yeah.
um, and not have as much pressure.
Sure.
I
I
took
got
the pressure off myself. I was like, oh, I'm just gonna do what I think I know, what I'm trained to do. And it's
yes.
hard to trust yourself sometimes. You're like, wait a second, I went to school for this, okay? So like trust myself a little bit more and just go with it.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know?
I agree with that. It's a good way to go about that with performance. It's like
Yeah.
do what you know you can do and do it because you can do it great. It's awesome. I like that mindset. Cool. Okay, here's one from Mary. Mary is asking, I love the sibling bond between Mipha and Sidon. Heart. Do you have a sibling, family member, friend who is your Prince Sidon?
I'm an only child.
Oh,
So
really?
that was an interesting relationship. There's a thing in acting called substitution where it's like if you haven't actually been through a scenario,
Mhm.
you can kind of find a scenario in your life that is similar and use that as a reference.
Okay.
And honestly, like with Mipha, and Sidon for me, this is gonna sound kind of funny, but it's my dog.
Oh, that's so
Yeah,
cute.
like this feeling of protection
Yeah.
over something that is helpless. Because most of the time Sidon is young,
Yeah.
he's the baby,
Hey,
you know
baby.
that she feels he right she feels responsible for,
Oh,
and that was my frame of reference was, this thing that I love so much that I'm responsible for no
mhm.
matter what. So that's my
I'm
relationship.
and that is amazing. I'm just a big sucker because I love their dynamic, their bond between each other. Because Sidon's upbringing was mostly because of how Mipha has so much like love and encouragement for him that his famous catchphrase "I believe in you." he took straight from Mipha because we learned that from the DLC in Breath of the Wild. So like hearing you say that in the DLC was like, oh my god, my heart. I love these two. So
Right. Well,
great.
yeah. I mean, Sidon for most of his life,
Mm-hmm.
Mipha's not been around,
I
right?
know. Yeah.
So he has these few memories of his big
Very
sister,
small.
from a very young age, and that's all he has to go off of. So, that's something that stuck with him,
Mm-hmm.
right? Throughout his life.
Yeah, that and like stories he's heard about his sister from the people that have praised her for these past not hundreds, 100 years. So yeah, it's all he can really go off on. It's just really heartbreaking. From Chris Denton, 2025, what aspect of Mipha's design do you like best? Personally, I love her headpiece, but honestly, her whole design is beautiful. Thank you, and you did a fantastic job voicing her again, Amelia.
Thank you. Her trident.
Her trident.
Yeah,
That's
I,
really
I love how she wields that when she's diving off the waterfall to
mm-hmm.
show Sidon how to swim. It's a great piece to have. It's almost like Poseidon-like,
Yeah.
like, and I like her sash too, which has some significance to it, I believe.
It does. Well, yeah, her champion sash because like it's the one she gets as a champion. Yeah, that's great. I love her so much. Like she hits hard. She hits really hard. She may be small compared to the other champions, but she packs a punch.
I think her face also, the way they designed her, like it's really hard to be a fish woman and be beautiful, but she is,
She's just elegant. She radiates elegancy. All right, let's see. Okay, here's a pretty short one, but this is pretty like on the nose. All right, so Elias is asking you, is Mipha's Grace ready?
I don't know how to answer that question. Yes.
I hope so.
Yes.
It takes a while for it to charge, but
does it?
But it's yeah, it takes like 10 minutes to fully charge. But it's
eventually it will be.
Maybe. Oh, you're dead. Sorry, I wasn't ready yet. It's happened to me a couple times. Anyway. All right. Okay. The legend sauce is asking, why are you the best champion? It's just fact.
In my opinion, what I love about Mipha is that she is simultaneously soft and feminine,
mm-hmm.
and extremely badass and strong, Yeah. There's a little pain behind Mipha as well, which I love. And I think that a lot of girls are taught that you have to either be this ultra feminine girly girl, or you have to be a tomboy. And I love Mipha as a role model because she says you can be both.
Yes, you can.
And I think that's a really strong message to give to young women.
How can you not love Mipha after that? That's great. I mean, I already loved her, but way before then. But I love her even more now. All right. Oh, and then also James is also asking, how does it feel being best girl? It's a great end.
It was great.
Yeah, it was great.
Wonderful.
It's an honor. Okay, here's one from Stink Guillotine. Are there any lines that you couldn't get first without laughing a bit? In summary, are there any funny bloopers?
Me in the booth flubbing is like, I'll mess it up and I'll be like, I don't know what I just did. I'm sorry. Can we do it again? Like, that's me. Mm-hmm. The hardest part about, doing animation is one, it's already recorded in Japanese.
Yeah.
So the lip flaps of the character are in Japanese. So trying to find the right words that would match the lip flaps in English and say mm-hmm. like generally the same kind of thing was hard. And actually the writer of the game in Nintendo was sitting there, and sometimes he'd have to rewrite lines like right before I would say them.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that doesn't fit. We have to change this around. you know.
Yeah, good old ADR. It's tricky, but it's also kind of fun too. It's like a challenge. You gotta see what
Yeah,
fits. The
it's
fits,
fun.
it is for sure. Chopper is asking a pretty personal question, but hopefully it's not too personal. My question is very, very serious. Do you like seafood?
Some of it. Not a big fan of shellfish,
That's fair. That's
you know,
fair.
or like mussels and stuff like that. But like I'll do fish, shrimp.
Shrimp? Oh, I love shrimp. It's good.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of sushi personally. It's just
Sushi, I love sushi.
there
If
you
it's
go.
good, but there's nothing worse than bad sushi. That's like
Oh yeah, it depends on where you get it for sure. Oh, I've had experience that. Anyway, all right, okay. Here's a fun little one. This is from James. If he's asking if you know this like already, but like if you don't, I can explain a little bit. But he's asking, how do you feel about your character's name being a solfege pun, and about said pun being worked into your theme, or to her theme?
yeah, I don't you're gonna have to explain that one to me. I'm not really sure what that means.
So, are you familiar with solfege in music, like do re mi fa sol la ti do?
Yeah.
Mi fa, mi fa, do
Oh,
do
okay.
re mi fa. It's also in her theme song, which I'll show on screen. But like
Oh
it's
my
like,
gosh.
but
No, I
like
had no idea.
it's like mi fa mi fa mi fa. It's like it starts like that's how the song starts. And then Sidon is the same as that tune, but it's at a different pitch. It's it's clever music references
Like
in there. It's like C, because like on the side of solfege you also have C and do.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, like side on is C and do.
I
Yeah.
had no idea, and I have no idea if that was intentional or not. That might have just been, we don't know. You gotta ask Nintendo about that one. I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, maybe. But yeah, it's a cool little reference. All right, so that was from all the single questions that I got, but I have questions from asked by multiple people. But there's not, but there aren't like a whole lot left, but there's plenty. Okay, I got a lot of people asking this. I'm gonna name drop. I'm gonna name drop everyone asking this question. Zatru, Tristan, Kittysaurus, Landy, McSmuckers, Verda, Tropical, Angel, and Manuel. They're all asking you, what's your favorite question? Not what's your favorite question? What's your favorite line as Mipha?
I believe in you.
Tim and Banshee are also asking you, what's your favorite moment of Mipha?
All my favorite moments are with Sidon. I have
Oh,
two. One where she saves him. He tries to go out by himself and
mhm,
kill the monster by himself.
yeah.
And she has that moment where she's like, what, you basically like, what's wrong with you? You're not supposed to do this. But
Mhm.
also, what a brave little brother I have. I love that
Precious.
moment. But when he comes back in
Mhm,
Age of Calamity, and Mipha's just got nothing left. She knows this is it. She's
mhm.
gone. This was her destiny. She knew this going in. And then boom, don't touch her. Like he comes in and saves her. Like my heart dropped when I saw that for the first time. I
I
was like,
know.
it is such a beautiful moment between those two characters.
I
Like I'm so like tearing up. I was like in the booth. I was like, oh my god, that's happening. The fans are gonna love this. Yeah, it was a great moment, so well written.
it was
you
very
know
heart it was heart-wrenching because like the way he says it, he says, I won't allow you to take her again. It's
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
that is so heavy because like he knows this happens, but like he has this chance to like save her this time. It's just
Oh,
it's
I have one more
emotional.
favorite one
Oh yeah.
where all the champions are standing around and
Mm-hmm.
she's trying to figure out how to talk to Link, and
Mm-hmm.
like he overhears her or something, and she's like, oh, I didn't say anything, no, no. She gets all shy and embarrassed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that one
she
too.
she has a cute crush on like well no, not a cute crush, she's in love with him.
Yeah.
which I think we actually have a question about that. I probably should like just segue into that. Okay. Kelly, Chaos, Ryan, and Ghost, they're all asking you, do you ship Link and Mipha together? Do you think they would be together if not for the Calamity?
They might be, but that wasn't her destiny and she knew it.
Mm-hmm.
She
Definitely.
basically gave up love for the greater good.
Exactly.
You know, she's like,
It,
this is what I want, but I have to put that love aside because this is my duty, you
mm-hmm.
know. And
Exactly.
that's the tragedy of the character right there, you know.
Mm-hmm. And the worst part is like in Breath of the Wild, like she never gets to admit her feelings for Link, and because she already surrendered that, but she never gets to see Link again whenever she like meets her end. That is very tragic. Well,
Yeah.
until the game starts and you get to meet her again. That scene also like brought a tear to my eye because like just like how much like heaviness she has in her in your voice like when you're doing that scene with Link. Just so much. It's like raw emotion. All right. How okay, here's one from both Borno Kokiri and Terminian Historian. They're asking, how similar would you say you are to Mipha?
uh Same. I think that I'm both I grew up a tomboy
Mm-hmm.
and you know got into being more feminine as I got older,
Mm-hmm.
so I identified with that. And also maybe this is a little too personal, but like I feel her pain in a lot of
Sure.
ways. You know, like I've had my series of struggles in my life.
Mm-hmm.
So I think a lot of that came through with like this understanding of this character having pain and doing what
Yeah,
she had to do, you know, and because it was her destiny.
absolutely.
So I think that's where I identify most.
Yeah, well said too. That's great. I'm glad you shared that. Okay, here's one from Sam, Lord, Zatru again, and Muscle Maestro. They're also asking you. I just want to start with love you and your work. Keep it up. But going into the role of Mipha, did you know about the Zelda series? If so, have you played any previous games in the series?
Um, maybe the very early ones, like when I was a kid, you know,
The NES,
yeah.
the original one.
But no, you know, I'm not a gamer. I don't own any consoles or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate it and stuff, but no, like I don't play anything.
That's fair. That's perfectly okay. Like I'm pretty sure you aren't the only voice actor in the cast that has not played a game since the original. That's totally fine.
Like, okay, like I'm from the Sega generation, okay?
Hey, Sega, let's
I,
go.
so I had a Sega and I played like what did I play? Sonic the Hedgehog was my
Sonic.
big one, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Come on, Sonic Rep, let's go.
That was about it.
That's honestly cool. Way past cool. All right. Let's see. Okay, here's one from both Sammy Cat and Tattoo Pedigree. How did you become a voice actor for such amazing games and companies like Nintendo? It would be a dream to do something like that.
Well, I'm a trained theater actress, like in Shakespeare, Shaw, and stuff. I went to
Mm-hmm.
performing arts school for theater.
Okay,
But ended up in Los Angeles and was like, oh, I'll try TV and film and stuff. And I prefer theater.
that's great.
What kept happening to me was I kept getting typecast in the same kind of roles on
Mm.
camera.
Okay,
You know, like
yeah.
hot girl number two, like, you know, kind of what I would call like empty, you know, filler characters. And
Okay,
what got me into voiceover mostly was because looks don't matter.
yeah.
It's just about your voice. And that was so freeing to me. I was like, wow, I could be old, I could be young, I could be a monster, I could be a witch, I could be this, this, anything, and it has nothing to do with how I look.
Yeah.
But people always say like, oh, how isn't this like an overnight success or something like that? And it's like, no, I've been doing this for 10 years
Takes a while.
before I got like any kind of really significant role. Um, what it really was being a kind person and being talented, because people want to work with their friends.
Oh yeah.
So being nice to everybody, you know, knowing everyone's name, like keeping up on just, hey, just checking in, I'm still trying to do this thing, here's my new reel, like that kind of stuff goes a really long way over talent. Talent is second to that, to be honest. Yeah,
exactly.
so that's basically how it how it happens.
Yeah, it's like it take like finding success in this industry especially is, it takes time, it takes work, it takes effort. Effort's the big important part of that too. It also takes patience and time. And you just keep putting yourself out there. No
Yeah,
matter
there's that saying, it took me 10 years to be an overnight success. Right?
Yeah, it's definitely true for almost everybody. Here's one from Ria, Rosie, and from RCB. They're asking, I want to, okay, well, Ria's asking this one, but I want to start off with saying that you did an amazing job playing Mipha. She's one of my favorite characters to play. I never get tired of hearing her voice. How did you create the voice of Mipha? I have listened to other languages, and yours is by far the best interpretation.
Oh, wow, thank you so much. That means a lot to me. Nintendo has an idea of what the character is, the director has an idea, and then I have to interpret what they say. Mipha was a little difficult because my voice is kind of down here, which is normal, and I had to take it up pretty high. But it's just basically on the audition with what the cues were that they gave, which was soft spoken. Meek was one of the things that they said, which I don't know if that's what they meant, but you know, soft and light and regal and airy. So you take those words that they give you and then you interpret them for yourself. And that's what it is, man.
I can definitely picture that in my head, like the traits that they're looking for, and you definitely do it perfectly. I think honestly, it's like you bring the character to life with all those traits, and through your your voice. That's great. Honestly,
they also give you a picture too. They give you
a picture. The picture helps
too. A picture, and then they give you a description of what the character is. And that's all you have to go on. And then maybe the director will tweak it, you know, to get it where Nintendo says, yes, that's what we want. And that's how it is.
Absolutely, for sure. Well, that does wrap up all of our questions that I wanted to bring to you. But overall, Amelia, I just want to say thank you again for being here with us. And where can we and the Zelda fans and anybody watching this video find you at?
I've been kind of off the radar for a while when COVID hit. So I've been up in the mountains of Tahoe, just kind of doing my thing. Where can they find me? I'm on Instagram as _Gotham girl. I'm on Twitter as well, but I don't check that very often. So, and yeah, those are basically my two social media sites that I'm on.
Amelia, thank you again for being here with us. It's been a huge honor. I'm glad we finally got to get together this time. It's been a rough year for a lot of us, you know, but I'm glad we got to get to talk to you finally. It's been great, and and hopefully we'll have you on again in the future sometime. For sure.
I would love that. I would love that anytime. It's been a pleasure. Absolutely. So thank you for having me.
Well, thank you so much, Amelia, and thank you all for watching. Be sure to leave a like and leave a comment below. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.